A quiet afternoon. A first-class train carriage. One man leaves covered in blood. The other is found dead in a tunnel. What seemed like a routine journey from London to Brighton in 1881 quickly turned into one of Britain's most shocking railway murders. The suspect? A calm, well-dressed young man with a story that didn't add up. But the real horror lay in the details investigators uncovered inside the carriage. On a seemingly routine Monday afternoon, June 27, 1881, a first-class carriage of the London to Brighton Express train carried an unsuspecting passenger home, 64-year-old coin dealer Isaac Frederick Gold. As the train whisked through Surrey's leafy landscapes, no one could imagine the violence about to unfold, even though 21-year-old Percy Lefroy Mapleton sat beside him. By the time the train pulled into Preston Park Station near Brighton, Mapleton emerged from the boarding compartment, bloodied and in shock. He claimed he had been attacked, but he carried Gold's gold watch chain around his shoe. Minutes later, down the line in Balcombe Tunnel, Gold's body, stabbed and mutilated, was discovered. This wasn't an accident. It was murder on the rails, a crime carried out with cold intent in a confined, private space. And one man's calm demeanor amid chaos would both shock and captivate Britain. On that evening, just after 2 p.m., Frederick Gold boarded the express at London Bridge carrying his wallet and a gold pocket watch. He planned to spend a quiet evening in Brighton. By contrast, his fellow carriage occupant, Percy Lefroy Mapleton, appeared ordinary but carried ulterior motives. Around 3:20 p.m., as the train passed through Merstham or entered Balcombe Tunnel, the carriage attendant noticed Mapleton beckoning them at Preston Park Station. He was disheveled and in pain, hat, tie, and collar missing, and told them, "I have been murderously attacked." He claimed 2 unknown men had assaulted him on board, yet authorities noticed blood and Gold's missing possessions, including his watch. Moments later, track workers discovered Gold's bloodied corpse in the tunnel near Balcombe. He had been stabbed repeatedly. His body showed signs of a fierce struggle. Police quickly pieced together the timeline. Mapleton reported being attacked. Gold's body and possessions told a different story. Blood spatter in the carriage, stabbed bullet holes in seat panels. Gold's watch chain attached to Mapleton's shoe. Mapleton's story fractured under scrutiny. Despite his claims of amnesia and self-defense, investigators spotted multiple inconsistencies. The Spectator later described how railway and police officials naively believed his attack narrative, even as escorting staff noted Mapleton's calm. As rumors grew, detectives traced Mapleton's movements. He vanished to a relative's home in Stepney under the alias Arthur Lefroy. A telegram, posted June 30th, seeking payment in foods and addressed to a non-existent Mr. Seal, tipped off authorities. Detectives arrested him on July 1st upon tracing the message. Key evidence included Gold's watch chain still attached to Mapleton, blood-stained collar and tie found on tracks. Witnesses saw Mapleton exit the train soaked in blood. Pattern of wounds suggested deliberate homicide, not accident. In court, Mapleton's defense claimed he had been robbed and assaulted, but public and press sentiment was grim. The case was depicted as a brutal, merciless assault on a vulnerable man. Witnesses recounted blood on the carriage floor, bullet marks in paneling, and Mapleton's calm demeanor. The jury found Mapleton guilty of murder. He was sentenced to death and hanged later in 1881, a swift justice in Victorian England. His request to change plea was ignored, and his execution marked the end of a notorious crime. This event had far-reaching impact. It revealed vulnerabilities in railway carriage security. Newspapers widely publicized the case, with the Daily Telegraph even publishing artists' sketches, the first of their kind. Authorities later installed emergency alarms and stricter carriage checks.
lectures and legal reforms echoed through policing and railway regulations. Though over 140 years have passed, the Brighton Express train murder remains a chilling case of violence amid everyday travel. Stories and dramatizations, such as episodes of murder maps and crime retrospectives, keep it alive in British cultural memory. But its lessons remain hard. A crowded public space, in this case a confined train, can hide brutal crimes. A calm suspect may hold deadly secrets. Technological advances, like CCTV and alarms, evolved partly due to such tragedies. On that quiet summer day, a routine train ride ended in shocking murder. It reminds us that crimes can erupt in the most mundane moments, and that justice, while sometimes swift, often arrives too late. If you're fascinated by mysteries on the move, check out our other railway crime stories, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real true crime chronicles.